January 1st, my first message of the year, I said to them, we're going to go through some deep darkness. I said that on January 1st. I said, but the Spirit of the Lord is going to be hovering over the situations. And this is how you'll know that the Spirit of the Lord is hovering over it. When you get in it, it won't affect you the way it was supposed to.
Curtis Johnson is a devoted man of faith, having dedicated over 3 decades to serving as the senior pastor of Valley Brook Outreach Baptist Church, located outside Greenville, South Carolina. In addition to his spiritual commitment, he values the importance of health and hard work, juggling 6 different jobs.
Pastoring the church, insurance. I work for the King Center in Atlanta. National Disaster Response Team, president of Pastors United for Action, and this homeless initiative. I was juggling all of these different things, and I felt good about it, but I've never been sick. I've always had perfect blood pressure and cholesterol, so it was never a thought in my mind that I could be having something this serious going on in my body.
So tell me a little bit about the first time you knew there was a problem.
I had preached, that's a Sunday morning. When I got home, I felt a little heartburn. I asked my wife for some Tums, and then on Tuesday, about 10 o'clock, I just felt a more intense heartburn.
Had you ever had heartburn before?
On a regular basis, no, not at all. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 was the worst pain, I would say I felt about a 6. I had a orthodontist consultation scheduled. I came in and said, I think I need to reschedule our appointment. Is there any urgent care around here anywhere? By the time I got into the urgent care, I felt a little pain coming down my left arm. So I'm thinking, it's just a little heartburn, I'll be okay. And she said, I want to let you know we've called an ambulance for you.
What did she say?
She said, you're actively having a heart attack right now.
A heart attack occurs when the blood flow to the heart is suddenly blocked. Dr. Leon Buffalo, a doctor of internal medicine, describes the classic signs and symptoms of a heart attack.
Classic one is chest pain. But some of the other signs and symptoms that you can have is excessive sweating, shortness of breath, upper back pain, shoulder pain. There's also this radiating pain that can go to the jaw. Some individuals may complain of lightheaded and dizziness.
So what about these atypical signs or symptoms, the things that people don't think about?
Some of the uncommon signs and symptoms would be like gastroesophageal reflux, or they're having this burning in their chest.
The urgent care center called an ambulance as Pastor Curtis Johnson was having a life-threatening moment.
And I'm like, wow. Because again, when I'm thinking heart attack, I'm thinking, I'm Fred Sanford days, I'm texting my wife and texting my friends like what I literally said was they think I'm having a heart attack.
And so you didn't believe it?
I didn't.
When did you believe it?
As soon as I got off the ambulance, they took me straight up to 3rd floor to pre-op. And there was a whole team up there waiting on me. And I'm like, y'all are dead serious about this. And then the doctor says to me, we're gonna have to do an emergent procedure. We found 5 blockages in your heart.
Undergoing an emergency heart surgery requires a team of doctors with a particular skill set. Dr. Barry Davis, a cardiothoracic surgeon, was one of those doctors.
Well, I actually met him in the cath lab to describe what was occurring and that he was going to need emergency surgery. It was very serious. He was stable. However, he had a totally occluded blood vessel, the most important vessel, so he was in the midst of a significant heart attack.
What would the outcome have been if he didn't get to you as quick as he did?
And he could have had a fatal heart attack at worst, and at best he would have had significant heart dysfunction after this.
The term widowmaker is used to describe the heart attack Pastor Curtis Johnson suffered. Survival rates are significantly reduced if early medical assistance is not sought.
I didn't believe it until I woke up the next morning in ICU after the surgery. And when I wake up in ICU with all these tubes and they tell me you just went through a 6-hour, 6 bypass emergency heart surgery, I was in shock. The doctors said that my recovery had been going so well, they released me after 6 days to go home from ICU.
So what was it like when you got home?
Leaving the hospital, was challenging itself. My wife had to call our neighbor to come over and help her and my son get me out of the vehicle.
So for someone who's never been sick, what are you thinking when your neighbor's coming to help you just get into your home?
The first thing I am is grateful. One, when I realized how close I came to death.
Men are often reluctant to see the doctor, and Dr. Buffalo's sentiment is to dispel that fear. He encourages his male patients to incorporate reasonable and healthy habits into their lifestyle.
The biggest thing that they can do is go in and see their doctors. Secondly, they can do things like exercise, monitor their weight, get good sleep, don't overdrink alcohol, don't smoke.
What's been the biggest change you've noticed now compared to before this experience?
My priorities, 6 jobs. I'm working, pastoring the church and all of these different things, and I felt good about it. But now my mind goes right back to that picture of me lying there in ICU. I said, anytime I ever get real busy and get real stressed, I'm going back to that picture.
There's a stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol was made to help, but if it's being overly produced, it can cause some issues. Stress on the heart itself can cause it to overwork. I have no problem with saying we need to take some time off to get these under good control. Bringing in a wife is huge. Sometimes the wife can push the patient or push the husband in a way that I can't. Clergymen, they can come in and give some spiritual advice. I've done that as well.
I really think that it was God who inspired the persons, the doctors, the nurses to get the training and to go through the school. I give God the glory that He gave that kind of insight and knowledge and wisdom to man to make sure that I was in good shape. It works together. It's important for you to listen to your body. And I'm going to take my medicine.